If you want to really know the state of social media, Twitter in particular, Elon Musk has used his platform since he purchased it, and he has allowed for a rise in racism and anti-Semitism. Now, I know the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, and I know that they are not the best of actors. They are not. They have done amazing work, but they have also targeted any dissenters who attack or complain or criticize the right-wing government of Israel, the regime of Benjamin Netanyahu, which is not representative of all Jewish people at all. They are, in fact, there are literally tens of thousands of protesters in Israel who have taken to the streets to oppose the regime that is in control of Israel right now. And the Anti-Defamation League has oftentimes fallen on the side of the far right-wing regime of Israel, particularly that of Benjamin Netanyahu. I give that disclaimer because despite the fact that they are not the best actors in our international conversation, what Elon Musk is doing to them is rooted 100% in anti-Semitism. And here's what's going on. Elon Musk tweeted, or whatever you call these things now, out the following. He said, quote, "To clear our platform's name on the matter of anti-Semitism, it looks like we have no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League. Oh, the irony." And then someone retweeted to him an image that shows that a judge finds the ADL $10.5 million in Colorado defamation suit back in 2000, 23 years ago. And to that, Elon Musk replied, "Interesting. In our case, they would potentially be on the hook for destroying half of the value of the company, so roughly $22 billion. Now, there's more, but I want you to just see what he did there. He is now blaming the Anti-Defamation League for the loss of $22 billion of his investment in the $44 billion company that he paid for. By the way, Twitter was only worth $30 billion, but Elon Musk, being the genius that he is, paid $44 billion for it. With the assistance of Saudi Arabia, as we covered in last week's episode, Saudi Arabia has used data from Twitter to now sentence a teacher to death for retweeting negative information about their leader, Mohammed bin Salman. But I digress. Back to this story. So now Elon Musk is blaming the demise of Twitter's value, $22 billion worth of value, on the ADL, never mind all of the decisions that he made that absolutely eviscerated, I think, what they lost 70 to 80% of their advertisers, right? The fact that there has been a marked increase, statistically observed increase of 500% increase in hate-filled language, including the use of the N-word and anti-Semitism. So that's been tracked, that's been noted. And advertisers have left because of that hate-filled rhetoric. And now Elon Musk is saying, instead of us addressing the observable, measurable increase in hate rhetoric, including anti-Semitism, including the usage of the N-word, 500%, by the way, instead of us addressing that, let's blame the people who spotted it, the ADL. And this is what he said on Twitter, quote, "Based on what I've heard from advertisers, the ADL seems to be responsible for most of our revenue loss. Given them maximum benefit of the doubt, I don't see any scenario where they're responsible for less than 10% of the value destruction, so $4 billion. Document discovery of all communication between the ADL and advertisers will fuel the full story." Well, the funny thing about that is that discovery goes both ways. And so if he's foolish enough to actually file a lawsuit against the ADL will get access to internal communications to Twitter that are relevant to this particular conversation, to this particular lawsuit. So it will be interesting. But at the end of the day, this created hashtag ban the ADL. Ban the ADL. And so that campaign was fueled by Elon Musk, white supremacist Nick Fuentes, who is actively pushing it in his neo-Nazi circles, people like Charlie Kirk of Turning Points USA, the whole conservative echo chamber. And funnily enough, Ben Shapiro, the Jewish conservative commentator, it got in on this. And what's funny about that to me is that people like Ben Shapiro and Laura Loomer, who are both of Jewish descent, and they're both siding with this part of America's society that's giving rise to more fascism, to Nazis. As soon as the Nazis are done going after the trans community, who do you think they're going after? They're not even going to go after the black folks second. They go after us all the time. They're going to go after Ben Shapiro and Laura Loomer. But that doesn't stop those conservative opportunists from cashing their checks that they make off of this type of environment, off of this echo chamber that includes neo-Nazis.